Hello, I'm Diane, a Bible teller. The Passover morning came, and Jesus has only a few hours to live. And straightway in the morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council, and bound Jesus and carried him away, and delivered him to Pilate. The whole council here is called the Sanhedrin. It's a supreme religious conference in Judaism. As everyone knows, Jesus died on the cross, and the crucifixion is Roman punishment. The traditional Jewish death penalty was stone killing. So Jesus apparently died under Roman criminal law. Why did they hand over Jesus to Roman authority while they had the whole council? There is a clue in the Gospel of John. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death. Even though the Sanhedrin was the supreme religious council, still Judea was a Roman colony, so they had no right to sentence someone to death. In fact, there is a controversy over whether the Sanhedrin had the right to sentence death or not. But even with the right, it was hard for the Sanhedrin to kill Jesus with their decision alone, because there were a lot of people gathered in Jerusalem for the Passover week who knew and followed Jesus as a Messiah. Therefore, it was the best to borrow Roman hands. After all, Jesus was handed over to Roman authority. As a result, it was Pilate, the Roman governor, who had to handle this trouble from the morning. His full name in Roman is Pontius Pilate, and he appears in the Apostles' Creed. He stays in a station near the Mediterranean, and he was in Jerusalem during the Passover week. And Pilate asked him, Art thou the king of the Jews? And he answering said unto them, Thou sayest it. And the chief priests accused him of many things, but he answered nothing. And Pilate asked him again, saying, Answerest thou nothing? Behold, how many things they witness against thee. But Jesus yet answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. To Pilate, Jesus was a man handed over with a request to be executed by the high priest Caiaphas, who cooperates well with the Roman authority. The main charge was to impersonate the king of Judea. But in Pilate's eyes, he doesn't look very dangerous, but a delusional patient. Also, there were Jews who claimed to be a Messiah before. So Pilate was unwilling to kill him. Now at the feast he released unto them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired. And there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, who had committed murder in the insurrection. And the multitude, crying aloud, began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But Pilate answered them, saying, Will ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews? For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. Pilate was looking through intentions of the high priest Caiaphas. But Caiaphas was experienced too. It was early in the morning, and before the news had spread that Jesus was being captured, Caiaphas gathered as many people as possible on his side. But the chief priests moved the people, that he should rather release Barabbas unto them. And Pilate answered and said again unto them, What will ye then that I shall do unto him whom ye call the King of the Jews? And they cried out again, Crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, "Why, what evil hath he done?" And they cried out the more exceedingly, "Crucify him." And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them and delivered Jesus, when he had scourged him, to be crucified. In short, the process was done very quickly. There were an arrest and interrogations in the middle of the night, the Sanhedrin's decision at dawn, and the very final death sentence of the Roman governor in the early morning. The Roman whip looks like this. It is called the flagrum. It's not a long and one-lined whip that we know. At the end of the handle, there are 3 to 10 strands of leash, and each leash has pieces of metal or animal bones. So this is not a tool to beat people, but a tool to tear them out. As you can see here, a person's hands are tied in a position that they embrace the pillar. The top of the person was taken off, and their back got whipped. If they are severely hit, muscles got cracked, and bones were visible. Jesus was whipped, and his back was torn. And the soldiers led him away into the hall called the Praetorium, and they called together the whole band. And they clothed him with purple, and plaited a crown of thorns, and put it about his head, and began to salute him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they smote him on the head with a reed, and did spit upon him, and bowing their knees, worshipped him. At that time, red-colored clothes were for a king. The soldiers mocked Jesus because his charge was to impersonate the king of Judea. It wasn't good clothes, but they would have brought any red-colored clothes and surrounded Jesus. And they put a crown made of thorn trees on his head. Then they spit it and pretended to bow. After eating dinner with his disciples last night, Jesus ate nothing. Jesus was weary enough because of the beatings that he had at the Caiaphas' house and the whipping that he just got. But the real pain starts now. The cross is waiting for him. It was Diane, a Bible teller. Peace be with you.